Awesome. Ang epic ng video. This segment of mine is not going to be formal at all. In fact, what's interesting is I've been doing this for more than a decade, and one of my trademarks is hindi po ako formal lecturer, because we believe that for there to be changes in our organization, there has to be a change in our movements, in our output. Transformation. Everyone say the word. 1, 2, 3, go. Transformation. Who among you would like transformation, positive transformation in your organizations right now? Raise your hand. We all want that. Keep your hand raised if it's difficult to create transformation. And there's a reason for that. I think you can put your hands down. There's a reason for that. That's because transformation is the one that takes the longest. You are all leaders in your businesses, yes? Who among you have experienced saying something, giving an instruction, and then for some reason, ibang-iba yung kapagkapasok dito sa kinakausap ninyo? Here's the thing, the only thing you can control as leaders, as communicators, is your intent. But the impact is all on them. But what is the influence, or what influences impact? Anong magi-influence doon sa mga kausap natin? Sorry?
How you deliver it.
How we deliver it. But here's the thing. Whenever I do my coachings or my talks about communication, ang sinasabi ko lang is simple. Effective communication is all about transferring what's here, the way that I want it, and putting it there. And hoping it's a real copy-paste and not an adaptation of what I want to say. Yet that's the very problem that people have. Mamaya pag-uusapan natin yan. I do believe that opportunities come to those who are both ready and not ready for them. But the latter throw them away. Do you know anyone who is like this? Why do so many people who can be much more, do much more, and have much more, settle for less? May kilala pa kayong ganito? Nandito ba sila ngayon? Yes? Turo nyo nga. Turo nyo. 1, 2, 3, go! Turo! Sino? Yeah. Great job, Manu. Uy, appearing nga dyan. Wow, may six-pack nga. Okay. So si Malu is saying that yes, she knows that person, and she's pointing at herself. Actually, that's the best answer that we can give. The fact that you're here means you want more, okay? I'll give you another story. You guys know this guy. Okay, hindi familiar. What about now? Who is he? Mike Tyson. Well, who is Mike Tyson? For those of us who don't know, Mike Tyson is arguably one of the greatest heavyweight boxers, in fact, boxers of all time. At the height of his career, his net worth was somewhere between $400 to $500 million. He spent everything from 80-carat jewelry to a car collection that he barely uses, and then filed for bankruptcy in 2003 with declared debts exceeding $23 million. He said, in his own words, this is a quote from him, Ismail, I was totally out of my league. I didn't know how to handle money, didn't know how to handle the people that were involved with me, with my money. Which is interesting because he became world champion. And I want to give you a certain framework which I would like to invite you to ibangga niya sa sarili natin. Ibangga natin sa sarili natin. Most people think in this way. If I have something now, then I can do what I need to do to become the person that I want to be. Sounds familiar? If I had something now, then I can do what I need to do. Then finally I can be successful. Finally I can be happy. Finally I'll be at peace. Interestingly enough, Mike Tyson, when he started his career, training at least for his career, he had nothing. A guy named Customato is one of the top trainers. He's a legendary boxing trainer. He saw potential in Mike, and in little Mike, right? And he started training Mike. So, Customato saw something in that. That's because before Mike Tyson had the championship belt, he was already that person who was meant to have it before he even had it. Let's turn it around, because the right way of thinking, I believe, is start from that word so that you can do what you have to do, so that you can have what you've always wanted to have. Now, this framework is called the be, do, have analogy. And the be, do, have theory, if you will, is something that we can't attribute that to any author. Ang dami kasi nag-apply nito. This is what we want to look at. And I'd like you to answer this question. Are you the person who is meant to get the results that you want? You will not get what you want if you are not the right person for it. How many of us pretend to do something and then we feel like hindi naman talaga ako yun? For the sake of having what we want to have. Do I truly believe that I am the right person for the results that I want? Because if you're not, then the next question is, okay, how can I become that person? Naturally. No? Ang pinaka-main topic ko ngayon is how to communicate. But a lot of people, they end up communicating a certain way, or they try to communicate a certain way. Hindi tuloy nagiging effective kasi hindi sila yun. Diba? Iba yung internal na nangyayari. In a company, a specific company that I talked to, I went to Kuala Lumpur and talked to the number one real estate agency in Asia. Their attrition rate for those performing, high performing, is so incredibly low that I had to really understand why they stay in the first place. The reason that I found out that they stay is because the 5 founders of that real estate agency, every single one of them were very clear on who they were, and they communicated in a way that that always compels, rather, the agencies or the agents to move. Ang isa, strength niya directness. Yung isa, strength niya details. Yung isa, strength niya empathy. Yung isa, strength niya energy and showbiz. Yung isa, all of the above. Are we who we need to be to get the results that we want from our people? So, we're going to have a very short exercise, because clarity of who we are is the very foundation of how we can get the results that we want. Yeah? Our priority should be this. We must first be transformed so that we can have the results. Who a man believes in his heart, so is he. Yeah? Clear? Am I? Kahit paano? Our team is going to give you guys worksheets, and in these worksheets, in these worksheets, this is a very simple activity, because we're going to simply try and crystallize our being. Okay? So what do we do? Step 1, I'd like for you to pick your domain. You're going to think of one area in your professional or business life where you want better results. Then step 2 is you're going to reflect. Step 3 is write your declaration. Now, this declaration, some people call it mantra, but this is backed by psychology rather. But go ahead and write down that declaration. Your 5 minutes starts now. Make sure to look at the rules. We're going to do step number 4. And you are now going to read your declaration to your partner. How? How are you going to read it? You're going to read it like you mean it. Raise your hand if it was weird declaring that to your partner? Raise your hand if it felt weird. Come on. Raise your hand if it felt weird. Yeah. I will tell you this. If it didn't feel weird, it's probably not big enough. If it doesn't make you uncomfortable, it's too small. Yeah? Another reason for it to be weird. If it did feel weird, then it just simply means that you have more self-convincing that you need to do. I want you to answer this question. As a boss, what is one usual challenge you encounter when working with your people? Star. What does she want?
The saddest story.
Saddest story. Yeah. It will tug on your heart. Make you emotional. I understand. Biglang, sobrang empathetic mo. Wow. Are leaders good? Are leaders empathetic? Are good leaders empathetic? Yeah, so good leader. But that's not the only area though.
Tao lang din naman tayo. So that is one of the most challenging.
I can relate to the dynamic that
Yeah.
we have.
Yes.
Because the two of us are owners of the company.
Now, my question is it still a struggle to you, Miss Empathetic One? Yeah, kaya mabilis na. Struggle pa rin siya?
Sobra po kasi.
What is communication? Alam natin, usually sagot, it is the transference of knowledge, there's a receiver, and there's a sender, yun yung mga natutunan natin sa school. Okay, we're now going to answer the question, how does communication really work? Communication is not about speaking well. Doesn't mean that may American accent tayo. No. Let's imagine that this pizza, blue pizza, is 100% communication. How many kinds of communication are there? Communication is a sagot. There's two kinds of communication, verbal and non-verbal. Ayan, clear na tayo. That's not a trick question. It's a very simple question. Now, if that's the case, out of 100% communication, and there's two kinds of communications, verbal and non-verbal, please tell me, ilang percent sa tingin ninyo ang verbal communication or words that you say? Out of 100%, ilang percent? 80%. And we got 80 tayo, 60%. May 60 tayo, 60%. Sino ba? Ha? 30%. Pababa na pababa. Di ba dapat tumataas yung presyo? Patawa na patawa. 30%. May 30 tayo dyan. Ha? 90%. May 90. Ano pa? 10%. Wow, mega tawad. 10%? Sabi ni Engineer AJ, sino ba? Layo 10 at saka 90. Ano pa? That's it? Okay. Let me give you the answer. And I'm not making this up. I'm going to tell you which study this came from. Are you ready? 100% communication. Verbal communication comprises of 7%. The thing that influences people emotionally is this breakdown. In leadership, that is 100% of your job. So let's watch this video. Let's make sure the audio is on. Then, after this, may pag-uusapan tayo.
Can't be done with me. Don't worry about it. I'm exhausted.
All right. Question before I talk about this one. Who was the better speaker? Who was the better speaker? Oh, sadness. So, ganun na lang ako magsasalita dito. Kasi siya yung better speaker. Joy, in that context, Joy was definitely the better speaker. Who was the better communicator? You see the difference? Communication is transferring what's here to there. Speaking is simply the act of saying something. Na-pressure na tapos. LR, pagdating 8, 7, hanggang wala